See, look at that, recording using USB mic. Oh, my God. It is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Osdell. We're sideways. That's better. I'm using a new tripod. I'm using a new everything right now. This doesn't look great. You guys are camera guys. Help me.
There we go. And, yep.
Car Con Carne, sponsored this week by our friends at Siren Records McHenry. You know, we're recording this on Wednesday, June 2nd. I will be at Siren Records on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, a week from Saturday, is Record Store Day. A week from Saturday. Dates are confusing. Siren Records opening up at 8 o'clock in the morning on Record Store Day. I will be podcasting from there. I can't wait. Siren Records McHenry. Car Con Carne back in the car for only the second time in well over a year. My guests today are my co-conspirators for a brand new Kickstarter project I'm super excited about. It's called Phonation, a Chicago podcast compilation. To my right, he is Zach Spangler. To my behind right is Giorgio Reyes. These two gentlemen have been working with me from the start on Phonation, and so I can take a breath. Why don't you guys explain what Phonation is?
Phonation is a compilation, a Chicago-centric compilation of podcasts that will be recorded and distributed on vinyl.
On vinyl, you say?
Vinyl.
That's audacious.
Whatever that means. Yes, it is.
Audio.
So, as we're talking about Phonation, a Chicago podcast compilation on vinyl, which you can pledge to on Kickstarter, we're eating food from Hecky's. Hecky's is a very South Side style barbecue joint in Evanston, which is pretty far north. Hecky's is one of these places I've been going to for years. Zach's going to hold up a rib tip. Oh, look at that.
Yum.
You can smell it through the camera. You can feel it through the microphone. I've been going here for years. Inexplicably, Hecky's keeps getting better. Every time I come here, the barbecue tastes better and better. We got here, and I asked you guys to trust me. I asked you guys to put your faith in me and let me order for you, which you did, and I appreciate it. Oh, well, of course. I ordered 3 mutts. Now, at Hecky's, the mutt is this perfect combination of barbecue food. First of all, it's topped off with a slice of white bread, obvi. But it's a bed of French fries topped with rib tips, a shitload of rib tips.
Shitload.
So many.
Some chicken wings, and a really good, really spicy hot link. And when we took these out of the bag, I mean, they're heavy to lift.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I thought it was going to
20
fall
pounds each.
apart.
And Zach's going to hold up one of the little chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
And all this food, normally when I eat barbecue, I ask for sauce on the side. I feel like sauce can detract from the meat. At Hecky's, the sauce is so good, you want it slathered. You want the food.
It's the sauce.
It's the sauce. It's
Load it
covered.
up.
Oh my God, this is so good. So we're going to eat some mutt. We have baby wipes, essential, because I think they gave us they only gave us the packets with the one napkin. One folded napkin.
There it
plastic
is.
silverware.
That's all you get.
Yeah. We each need one whole package of baby wipes a piece to get through this meal. This food's delicious. In fact, I'm going to try to eat. I'm going to eat rib tips with a fork, which I think is taboo, but I have no choice because I'm trying to do a podcast in my car. So Phonation, it's on Kickstarter, crowdfunding through June 25th. Again, 10 local podcasts on vinyl. Car Con Carne is not part of it. I really wanted different podcasts from Chicago to be represented. And when we were talking about this, we really wanted to focus on a variety, a breadth, if you will,
Right.
of categories. So, for instance, we have a true crime podcast, because you have to. And there's a really good one based in Chicago called If the Walls Could Talk. And this podcast tells the sordid history of Edgewater Hospital, not including the fact that I was born there.
Oh,
Plot twist.
find out more.
Find out more. If the Walls Could Talk. They
scary.
do such a good job on that. Also, Think 180. Ink 180 is a tattoo shop out in Oswego, which is far from where we are right now. The guy who runs it is a minister, and what his shop does is they do tattoo cover-ups for victims of human trafficking, like the branding that these victims have, and cover-ups for gang members trying to get out of the lifestyle. I mean, it's like this super force for good, wildly inspirational story, and it's stuff that you don't hear about, and it's stuff you don't think about.
Yeah.
I mean, human trafficking is all around us,
Yeah.
and this guy's out there making the world a better place. So the Think 180 podcast is one of the podcasts included.
Yep.
We didn't announce all of them yet. I think we only announced 4
Yep.
so
yeah,
far.
you got
four
to
of them.
tease. You know?
You got to tease. You don't want to just give up the ghost right away.
Yeah.
It's a slow drip.
Yeah, we give you little treats.
Little treats. If you're a good boy, you get another treat.
Yeah.
Another podcast. Zach, tell us what the other one is, or one of the other ones.
Oh, jeez.
Bucktown.
Oh,
I would, but my mouth is full of sausage.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Contest of Challengers.
There we go.
Jeez. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
had it.
Oh man. Contest of Challengers. Yeah. Our boy Patrick, who runs Contest of Challengers, has a podcast, and it's more than just comic books. It's
Okay, so
Challengers
Comics and Conversations on Western Avenue in Bucktown. I think we all agree it's just the best comic shop in town. Patrick and his partner, the co-owner, W. Del Bush, do a weekly podcast, and they've been doing it weekly forever about running a business. So if you're hearing us talk about a comic book podcast and thinking, oh my God, is it two nerds talking about the Invincible animated series? It's not. These two guys,
Great series, by the way.
no doubt,
Great series.
these two guys talk about running an independent brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
It really is about presenting a warts and all discussion of how it is to operate.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. I mean, it's absolutely transparent. I mean, they talked one episode about getting robbed, and they've talked about, trying to balance the books and keep the operation running. They talked about losing a store over the past year. They are unapologetic. They are fearless in what they do. I think, like I said, they've been doing this forever. I think it really is a fantastic business podcast. So that kind of fits the business category
Absolutely.
for us. Again, lots of different categories. We have one music podcast included. We'll announce that later. Only one. It's funny. The second I asked people for podcast recommendations, I was hit with like 50 different music podcasts. There are a lot of discussions about music out there. Oh my God. Lots of good ones too. Lots of really good ones.
It could be a record of its own of just music podcasts.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
that's great.
For sure. So, we're putting this on vinyl, which seems unorthodox because podcasts, as we're recording, are a digital medium. But to me, and I think to you guys as well, it's no different from a comedy album. Like when you like
Like a
George,
spoken word.
like
Yeah.
exactly, it's a spoken word record, like a George Carlin record or Eddie Murphy on vinyl or Rodney Dangerfield, who, by the way, still holds up.
Yeah. That rapping Rodney?
I'm not rapping Rodney so
That
much,
was
but
so good.
my favorite Rodney Dangerfield joke was, guy walks into a bar. Bartender says, what'll you have? Guy says, I don't know, surprise me. Then he takes out a naked picture of my wife.
No respect.
I love the setup and punchline.
Yeah.
I love the Rodney Dangerfield delivery. So Kickstarter, the way these work, and I warn both of you because I've done Kickstarters before. I did it for my book, We Appreciate Your Enthusiasm, now approaching its 10th anniversary, which is crazy. It's stressful looking at those numbers because if you don't get funded, the project doesn't happen. You don't keep the money pledged unless it goes to the amount you're looking for. So it feeds into every neuroses I have.
Yeah.
We have about 60 pledges so far, including my mom. So I'd like to invite people who
Thanks, Mom.
who think this is interesting. And look, I know finances are tough for everyone. It's been a hard year on everyone. If you can't afford to pledge, let people know about it. Let those wealthy benefactors in your extended network
Yeah, just
know
share
about
it
this.
around.
Share it around. That's all we can ask. I don't often do things like this. Every 10 years, I would say. But when I do, it's something I'm really excited about and really believe in. I really believe in this. I really think this is a cool way to further legitimize podcasting. Beyond that, legitimize Chicago podcasting. Just coalesce this community. God damn it.
Got it.
Oh, we're trying a new system tonight. We're trying a new video approach. It's not working real well, but it's working well enough. Can you get it back on the tripod? I'll keep talking. We got the audio going.
Yeah.
Here, we gotta
Stuff
lift.
happens.
Yeah, stuff happens. Sports and all. I need to figure out a new video solution before I record again. I really do.
Boom.
Zach Spangler, everybody.
There you go.
So we have different reward levels. Whenever you pledge to a crowdfunding effort like this, you can support the project by agreeing to contribute at a specific level. So, for instance, one reward level is you get a copy of the record. Another reward level is you get a T-shirt. Another reward level is you get a record and a T-shirt. You can also, I just added today, I emailed you guys. You got to make that, yeah. Sorry. It's all good. One reward level is a thank you level, just added. So like for $90, you get thanked on the actual record. Like your name is on the record, along with ours. So it's $90. It includes a copy of the record. All right, hang on. We got to bring in.
I got it.
No, you don't have
hang on.
barbecue sauce. I can't help.
And it's all about the sauce.
That's when you
It's
caught.
It's all about the sauce.
So, all right. Phonation, it's on Kickstarter. PHO Nation, Phonation. Again, it's something I strongly believe in. I just think it's cool. I like the idea of these independent creators. I mean, because podcasts aren't created by big media organizations. Well, they are. But the ones we're talking about aren't. This is just stuff created in people's basements, side rooms, cars. And we want to put it on vinyl. We want to immortalize it. And it really becomes almost a snapshot of what's going on in our universe in 2021 as we're emerging from the shit show of the past year. I think it's a really exciting thing.
Yeah, it is.
And to press this, if and when, knock wood, this gets funded, we're going to get this pressed at Smashed Plastic, which is Chicago-based record pressing facility. They're so good, and they're the only.
Phenomenal spot.
They're so good. They're the only place in the state of Illinois that presses records. Which
Really?
talk about a business. Talk about the right business model at the right time. But their records are flawless. They're 160 gram. They always come out great. They look great, and when you pull it out of the sleeve, it's going to sound amazing. Like I feel really good about using Smashed Plastic. It's funny. I very recently bought a couple different records that mass produced. Now that the Targets and Walmarts are selling records, we're at a point where records are being made quickly and inexpensively as possible. So like labels and big companies are just getting this shit out the door, and you see it in quality. Independent releases don't have these issues because they're using. It's just a different business model. I ordered Peter Murphy's Holy Smoke, the reissue of his album from the early '90s. Love the album. Ordered it from Amazon. Mass-produced, Beggar's Banquet, whatever. Took it out of the shrink wrap, and there was a big gouge inside A. I've never had that happen, taking a record out of the shrink wrap and having it not work like that. I returned it, ordered a new one. Same thing, a gouge, same basic spot. So I didn't order another copy. I returned that one too. But clearly there's a problem at with the lacquer
Production
or whatever.
or something, yeah.
So I just got, 2 weeks later, I just got a new record from a band we all like. I'm not going to mention them by name. It is the flimsiest record.
That's the worst.
I took it out, tons of pops and surface noise, and 2 of the songs on the B-side skipped.
Ooh,
Jeez.
not good.
Totally, just poorly done. The point is, that's out there right now. There are records being made on the cheap that just don't sound good. That's not what Phonation is going to be.
No.
We're going to put out a really quality, something that'll look cool on your shelf and sound amazing when you put it on your turntable. That's the plan.
That's the goal. Yep.
All right, you guys keep talking because I got to eat.
Speaking of the flimsy records, do you? I'm going to throw this back. Maybe you should have thrown a quarter on top of it. Do you remember back in the day when you'd get those paper thin the vinyls? And you had to put a penny or a quarter on top and play.
I was just
Try
angry.
that next time.
I was just angry. It's a brand new record. It
Yeah, that shouldn't
be an issue. Made me very upset, but also made me feel good about what we're doing. Like we're making all the right decisions with this.
Yep.
And again, it's on Kickstarter. It's Phonation. I realize this is a purely self-promotional
Sure, why not?
episode, but
Let's do it.
we're back in the car.
Yeah.
We're testing out new video solutions.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think about the name? I never
Oh yeah,
heard of Phonation before. Or
Zach came up with the name.
yeah.
Yeah, when I found that name, we were all doing a search, like what is this gonna be called, and so I just started looking up different like terms and stuff that had to do with audio, and that came up, and honestly I hadn't heard of it either until I saw it, and it just really spoke to me, like Phonation, and it kind of had that the name kind of has a rally call behind it almost.
Yes,
like
it's a nation,
Phonation. Yeah, exactly. So people can get behind it. So.
Yeah, I love the name. And Zach also designed the super cool logo, which you can see on the Kickstarter page. Explain what that is, because it's kind of like the Illuminati.
It is. It's kind of like I was going off the all-seeing eye type, illustrations. Except I just replaced the eye with a vinyl, and we want the everybody to think they're being watched or they're listening to the vinyl. Basically, it's the all-seeing vinyl, I guess, or the all-spinning vinyl, you can say.
So Giorgio and Zach are responsible for the visual look of everything, including the videos. You'll see video that's on Kickstarter right now. And they've been with me for the ideation from the get-go. I mean, this started out as, let's start a record company.
Yeah.
And then we realized...
What a weird text to get, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's start a record company.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
But then we were like, yeah.
And then
do
it was,
this.
hey, can you guys jump on Zoom for a couple
Yeah.
minutes? And then a couple months later, here we are with a Kickstarter. But I mean, we got to the point where as we kind of fleshed this out and figured out what we wanted this to be, we started having like weekly business calls about this.
Yeah.
Like business strategy calls and brainstorming. And where we're at now is not where we started. And I love that. Honestly,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things in the world is that process.
Yeah.
That brainstorming process, realizing how things, where they were and how they evolved and how they ended up. And I couldn't be happier with where they ended up.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, this was something kind of off the wall. It's still off the wall. What am
Yeah.
I saying? It's nuts. What podcast on vinyl? You're crazy. But here we are.
One of our
Hey.
contributors, again, it's a slow drip. We're going to release the contributors between now and June 25th. When I asked one of our contributors, one of our more high-profile contributors, his response was, podcasts on vinyl? Fucking nuts. I'm in.
I'm in.
And that, to me, that was one of those things where I'm like, okay, we're doing the right thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the right track. We're striking the right chord or hitting the right chord, striking the right nerve.
Yep.
Well, mixing metaphors, but we're doing something right.
Raising eyebrows, if you will.
So, again, my mom has contributed. 59 other people have contributed. We'd love you to contribute. I mean, you don't need to contribute much. You don't need to be an associate producer. You can kick in $5 and have have the feeling of contributing to something cool that is supporting the Chicago community. And if you can't afford anything, just tell a friend. Share.
Yeah, share it around. There's someone out there that'll, appreciate it.
You were just saying the other day, Zach, you were at Challengers.
Actually, I was at Challengers, and we were kind of discussing this, and somebody in the crowd happened to hear, us talking about it, and they're like, hey, Kickstarters, I just love backing Kickstarters in general. And we were just like, okay, and he's looked it up and backed it, so thank you, at that.
It's the hardest thing because these crowdfunding campaigns have such a short shelf life.
Right.
Yep.
Once they're gone, they're gone. So it really does become an urgent hitting the pavement, letting people know about it. Like, we can't tell people about it enough because the time it's up for grabs is fleeting.
Yep.
And again, if we don't hit the goal by June 25th, we don't hit the goal. Phonation doesn't come out. These 10 podcasts don't get pressed onto vinyl. And the Chicago force of habit, Chicago podcast community suffers. Sure.
Yep.
All right. Zach Spangler, Giorgio Reyes, my co-conspirators, and Phonation, we're going to keep eating our mutts, which they're so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the burping in the back here.
That's
gonna
fine.
happen.
I'm sorry that you're not going to want to eat for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
This should cover it. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Giorgio.
Thank you.